HSHS Saint Mary's campus is expanding in Green Bay, and as part of that growth, some older buildings on the property are being put to good use, giving the Green Bay Fire Department and the Police Department a chance to train inside. Maria Parmigiani reports on how the real-life scenarios benefit first responders.
We want to make sure that it's a great place for our neighbors as well as for healing for our patients.
Here at a former nursing home, part of HSHS Saint Mary's campus, there's some training going on with local firefighters and police officers. It's a partnership that could save a life.
This building offers so many different characteristics or topics that we can train on.
Before they start a new build on their campus, officials with HSHS Saint Mary's tell us they wanted to partner with local fire and police departments to allow them access to this empty building for training purposes, something both agencies say is invaluable for them.
We're just trying to maximize all our skills that we can with the building while we have it.
With access to the building for about a week, this allows training real-life scenarios in a controlled, safe environment for both firefighters and police officers, giving these individuals the ability to sharpen their skills for if an actual situation arose.
And so the SWAT team is here today practicing real-world scenarios in this realistic facility, which is a great benefit for our team,
including a hostage rescue, explosive breaching, chemical munitions utilization, and cutting through a metal roof.
In Green Bay, Maria Parmigiani, Action 2 News.